All right, here we go. Another freaking cold morning up in the northeast of the United States. Ah, man, it's be cold out here. Look, I got on like 2-3 jackets. I don't even know what jacket this is. Today we have the moon in Virgo. This one is big. I really feel like this is a game changer, and when it comes to really materializing what happens next. Why? Because the sun is currently in Taurus. Virgo is in the moon. The moon is in Virgo. These are two earth signs. Material. We now can materialize, but right now the moon is at 6 degrees. At least when I'm doing this message, it's currently in the 4th house. But by the time you watch this, it might be in the 5th house. So what this is saying is you have an opposition going on between the part of fortune in Virgo at 19 degrees. The opposition is with Mars and Pisces, opposite sister signs, at 19 degrees. You also have the sun in Taurus at 19 degrees. 19 degrees is all about fairness, balance, partnerships, but the evolution of it. Okay, so not the beginning stages, like when it's in its evolved form, what do those partnerships look like when it comes to being fair in the sense of your relationships, obviously your business partnership, your friendships, and any one-on-one interaction that you have. This is very strong one-on-one interaction day energy today. Hopefully you'll watch this message before it gets to 19 degrees later in the day when we pass over in that part of fortune. I'm pretty sure it won't be there tomorrow. It's going to be there today. I'm pretty sure. You have the opportunity to serve people in a one-on-one way. All right. Now let's say something, for example, yesterday I had Feral Love. Y'all should definitely check out that chat. It was one of the most game changer live interviews that I had with somebody to come on there and share their own personal gifts and how they were able to serve. She gave us logic-based information on what the retrograde in Gemini would look like. So definitely check out my Gemini retrograde video with Feral Love. That jump was a game changer. Everybody in the comments definitely watched the live chat. It was wilding out. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Now, that is 4th house, fertile ground. We're able to really see in a very analytical and practical way in what ways can we serve others. This service-based energy is major. It is the actual day-to-day grind and work that it takes to make something materialize. Right now with Taurus at that 90 degrees, we understand what one-on-one relationships we value, which also means that we really understand what one-on-one relationships we do not value. Because it's currently at 6 degrees when I make this message, I will tell you there will be certain colleagues at your work that you're gonna realize, I really don't value this relationship with Jamie, but I really rock with this relationship with Jamal. Me and Jamal, we are tight. You have to understand that there's something very interesting about this energy that's going on today. With the moon being in Virgo, this is petty season, okay? Virgo is one of the most petty signs on the planet, but it's not for no reason. The exact reason is because it has all the receipts. It knows every single little detail. It is very perceptive. I think the most 3 perceptive signs in astrology are Aquarius, Virgo, and Scorpio. That's my personal opinion. They don't miss a thing. Neither one of the 3 of them. They don't miss a thing. So Virgo, you're now starting to understand socially. You as an individual can see with your 5 senses. You smell the BS, you see the BS, you can taste the BS, you hear the BS, but you also smell, taste, hear the truth. Okay? With your real eyes, you can see the truth. You can also see what is real. Who in your one-on-one relationship dynamics are not about that BS. And this is essentially where we're really, as individuals, not only understanding what we're worth, but taking a look back during this Mercury retrograde to really just look objectively at things. All right. You now start with that mutable energy of Gemini. With the ascendant right now is in Gemini. Okay. And it's at 3 degrees in Gemini. So that's coming in 1st house. So I am, in a sense, ready to communicate. I am literally the rising sign, Gemini, willing to communicate. All right, with the light and the shadow aspects of self. Why? Because the sun is currently at the 12th house. This is really the place of your hidden enemies, but also your irrational fears. A lot of times what I recognize is our hidden enemies is our irrational fears. It is just our subconscious programming that sure we likely got from the base, okay, base Taurus of our family dynamic. All right, not the actual family when it's up and it's flourishing and y'all see each other as adults. The base where you were only 5 to 4 years old and you had programmings forming. You had programmings forming, and not necessarily before you were prepared for those programs. So 19 degrees, you're now recognizing through certain one-on-one relationships what are the irrational fears. By you having discussions right now, conversations, you yourself, Gemini, beginning to communicate, especially with the more logical mind, what you're going to be able to do is take from the Moon in Virgo everything that you've been analyzing and be a little bit more practical in your forms of communication. So in that practical, more detached, cut nature, your mind is able to actually rationalize what it is irrational fears, but also can see very clearly who are those hidden enemies, even if it's yourself or if it's your coworkers, because that's a possibility with the Moon at Virgo 6th degree. You're gonna have the receipts of coworkers. You're gonna have the receipts of who's involved in your day-to-day routine. So this could be somebody you're sleeping in bed with, right? This could literally be your girlfriend or boyfriend. If you have a daily routine with them, this is the 6th degree. Especially because right now it's in the 4th house, the home. So especially anybody in the home, like right now, you really can recognize that you have a harmonious opportunity. So this is what's good about this. All these 1919s between Taurus and Virgo, they're working well with each other right now. I'm pretty sure that that energy is trining, and they're very harmonious right now. They pretty much are like, look, we get it, we understand. How can I serve you today? So what I want to have you ask your spouse, your husband, who you care about today is, how would you like to feel supported? Feel supported today. I use the word feel for a specific reason because there's a sextile, another harmonious aspect happening with Cancer. Lilith is in Cancer right now at the 2nd degree in the 2nd house. So right now, by you taking that analytical approach to say, hey, how can I practically serve somebody that I'm emotionally invested in, emotionally Cancer invested in, okay, 2nd house, what we value. Right now, you have the chance to look at the more repressed feelings and emotions that you can clearly see. You clearly got the receipts on yourself, literally on what you have, the possessions you own, the things you value, and the addictions that have essentially been, introduced to you because of this Virgo Moon analytical step and practical mind. Okay, it's emotions work in a very practical way. You have now the receipts to go ahead and say, look, even me, my emotions, myself, I'm ready to communicate in a sense with myself. Gemini ascendant, the dark and the lighter sides. This will allow you to uncover and unmask certain emotions that have just been repressed, certain emotions that have been stuffed down and kept private from others, from your colleagues. So if you have some beef right now with your coworkers, it's a time to go ahead and have that conversation. If you have some beef right now with the people that are involved in your routine or even in your home, boom. It's going to eventually move into the 5th house, the Moon in Virgo, which is now in the 4th house as I make this video, but it's going to move very quickly. It's very much at the edge, very much at the cusp. So it's going to move into the 5th house, which says, hey, you're now going to be able to analytically recognize what is my unique ability. Okay? How do I serve 6th house Virgo energy, but in the 5th as a unique character with my creative expression? So the best I got is again yesterday with Feral Love. We did the Gemini retrograde video. Mercury is currently in Gemini going retrograde. Okay, it's going to go back to Mercury in Taurus. So we are taking inventory. I'm not going to cover that because we had that video out there, but you should check it, as well as drop this thumbs up if you're still rocking with the middle of this message, obviously, and come to the event on Saturday. We're doing Angel Reiki. There's always events, so always check down below whenever you watch this video. There's always events that I'm running. They're donation based at the moment. Nope, I lied. It's just pull up at the moment, aka for the low for your attention. So what I really want to uncover right now is the opposition. Mars in Pisces is saying you're now taking action and asserting yourself, but not really in an aggressive way, because Pisces can be very much an escapist. So, you have to ask yourself right now, what have you analyzed? And you now know, Virgo Moon, through the analyzation with the receipts, that you really have a very clear understanding of the repressed feelings and emotions you have as yourself, as an individual, because you've been able to unmask, hey, honestly, I've been emotionally intelligent all my life, but people gaslight the hell out of me, and now I recognize that these motivations were never really mine. In reality, they were never really mine. So whose motivations are these? And you have the energy to start seeing your subconscious patterns in that 12th house of Taurus, seeing with the eyes physically. So this is great because there's not a lot of metaphysical energy. There's not a lot of, you know, invisible things that are still invisible, because you have that Taurus sign in that 12, and you have Uranus still in Taurus, right? So this is like ground shaking developments on your self-worth that's being discovered by these unconscious patterns being revealed. This is wow, okay? Because as we went through those upgrades with Uranus and Taurus, having all those different transits and aspects, your senses have just evolved. You're not the little kid anymore. You're not the one who's helpless anymore. You possess something of great value. And with the moon being a Virgo, you can fully understand the privacy of all those individual values and the possessions you have, and where have you allowed certain addictions, which just means that you can't stop something. Doesn't have to be anything specific. Doesn't have to be drugs, right? You could be literally addicted to a person, okay? Form codependency. You could be addicted to nature. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but addictions, these are type of moments where these things are coming up. My hands are cold. My hands are so cold. I'm like trying to switch hands, keep one in the pocket at all times. Holy crap. Okay. With Mars and Pisces, again, notice that it's not very direct, so you have to be very careful of what are the escapist tendencies that's not allowing your hopes and your dreams to come true. Because Mars and Pisces right now is in the 11th house. So 11th house, Mars and Pisces, where are your hopes and your dreams and your aspirations not coming true because you're just not asserting yourself? It's just that simple. You're just not asserting yourself. Where are you avoiding some of these things, thinking, oh, you know, all the actions that I take, my dreams are just gonna come true just because I wish them to be that way. And Pisces has this ability to just wish that this is gonna come true, and then they expect that it's going to actually happen like that. This is not that time. This is not that type of energy. This is not the smoke that you want. This is a good time to really be practical. And this is the opposition right now. You have a skill that you are able to use to serve others, and it's really gonna bring the world daily by your own efforts in the interpersonal relationships you have. You have discovered what you value about your own personal skill set and what you want to do for the actual work on the day-to-day. Not what you want to be known for, not even what you value. That would be known for Capricorn, 10th house. That'd be what you value, Taurus, 2nd house. But what you actually do and how you do it. Virgo is pretty much all about how. What is the how right now? How do you serve? What I really want to be mindful of, and what inspired me to do this, and where part of the opposition will come from as well, because first off, if you don't take the analytical Virgo moon right now in the how type information and actually act on the service of that, you will then begin to believe, and this is the opposition, this is the challenge right now, that just because you know how, that is gonna come true because you wish it to be that way. That's what Mars and Pisces, that's the opposition. It's saying no, dreams can only be manifested in the physical reality with physical actions. At the end of the day, yes, things are created from the metaphysical space. You wanna get the metaphysical bag, then you are really smart. Great, you dreamed up $1 million. But what is the actual how? How are you going to do that? Okay, now Virgo is saying, look, 6th degree, I need to work on my crypto, okay? Because that's how. I need to get in these Telegram, Discord chats and understand this is the how. I need to follow these Twitter posts and look at the details, the analytics, and this is going to be the how. Because Mars and Pisces is thinking that it's just gonna come true. So if you put the work in, each one of your dreams gonna come true. But that work right now looks like, what are the relationships you have that you're bringing balance to on a one-on-one base? This is the magic. Honestly, this is the magic. You know, you are a service provider. especially somewhere now, if you're watching this, in that spiritual space. You're starting up businesses. How will you work on the day-to-day? You got to set your Calendly up. You got to set up your systems. You got to set up, you know, your links to get paid. You got to set up, you know, what are the fail-safe proof? You got to set up your invoices that you're going to send out, because you're the one who's working, right? You can't just dream that, oh yeah, they're just gonna pay me just because they know they're supposed to. It's your job as the employee, okay? 6th house is work, Virgo is work. It's the actual work. It's the work that you eventually become known for in the 10th house. So that's what I see the opposition coming in right there. Definitely like this video, hit the thumbs up right now. And here's the last thing that I wanna say to you. Because really part of my one-on-one right now, so me right now is like the camera and me, that's 1 and 1. Sure, I'm serving a lot more people who decide to watch this video, but at the end of the day, you know, this is me and me right now. This is literally me and me. I'm literally looking at myself right now on the camera. And you know, part of my service, this is what I wanted to like, right now, use the work. The work can be a part of what you do today. Oh crap, today I'm doing one-on-one, going to do my taxes, okay? That is a part of the how. I can't just dream that my taxes are gonna be done. I'm hella late on that, okay? Mercury retrograde is here and it's like, run that jump, V. Run that jump, P, you're late. So, this is literally one-on-one. In like 4 hours, I'm gonna be with my tax guy, hoping that he tells me some good news and not some horrific and terrifying news. But in all sincerity, I really just believe that I know for a fact this is irrational fear, okay? 12th house is in Taurus. This is the money, this is the resources. I'm not actually afraid of anything bad happening, if I'm being real. Like, I know that I'm all the way guided. Like, I know everything's really all good. So be mindful of irrational fears in the one-on-one relationships and one-on-one actions, and realize today you have good harmony, balance. So I'm really happy with the astral report today, the day I'm doing my taxes. This is great. This is great. I know my homie's gonna find some loopholes and some curves and he's gonna find all the right things that I need to be out and right on top. But beyond that, what I really was trying to say is, you know, when I woke up and I had a lot of, I'm doing a lot of thinking. There's a lot of analyzation. There's a lot of things just, you know, on my mind that are like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Write this stuff down for starters, okay? Do not allow all this analytical data stay in your mind, because right now there's quite frankly too much. Your dreams are way too big to think that you're gonna hold it all in your head. But on the second note, beyond that, you have to understand that Virgo is the opposite of Pisces. This is the descent into darkness. This is where it begins. By the time you get to Libra, you are on the shadow signs. So Virgo is the last sign where the sun is up. Notice as I said that the sun just got blocked by this bridge. Literally as I said that, the sun got blocked by the bridge. This is where we start to go under. This is the bridge. This is Libra. Okay, this is the dielectric, literally. But that's a different story. So this is when you now do service for people. This is part of opposition. You give out unconditional love. You now serve people in the way where with your most unique skills and abilities, your creative expression. And through that service, you are now starting to recognize that, like, not everybody cares about you. You're starting to recognize that not everybody has your best interest. You start to recognize that. You're starting to recognize that walking, serving, living, working with a heart of unconditional love is just not enough. This is the part where you start realizing who appreciates you and who does not. This is literally where and why Virgo is the place where darkness starts to begin, because you're working with interpersonal relationships. Yet and however, you're starting to realize that not everybody appreciates the how and how you offer service, how you offer help and assistance, how you take care of your own body, how you help others as a personal trainer potentially taking care of their body. And that Mars and Pisces will basically say, look, what the hell's going on? Because we're egoless over here. But this is when you kind of get into the darkness of the two fish, where if Virgo does feel underappreciated and it actually calls the receipts out on that, this is the two fish of Pisces. This is the part where, you know, sure, you got the unconditional love in Pisces, but you also have the cosmic manipulation of everything involving your soul, which can ethereally pierce you in a way where that service is then used to control people, because you can go around and say, you know what, you don't appreciate me, you don't appreciate what I did, what I bring to the world, what I bring to you in this one-on-one relationship, aka 19 degrees. You really taking advantage of what is fair, what is balanced, everything Libra. This is the exact moment that now you can pull up and recognize this. This is now the moment you can pull up and you can recognize, like, oh snap, I'm being manipulated by my coworkers. 6 degrees right now, Virgo Moon right now. I'm being manipulated by my coworkers. You can pull up and you can be like, wow, the service I'm giving out is not being appreciated. Now you start wanting to turn around and turn into that two-faced fish, literally Pisces, where Pisces is literally the most undetectable evil essence if it decided to be. If it decided to be, until Pisces comes around and really gets to that space of real life, unconditional, egoless love, understand that we're made up and comprised of many different zodiac signs. So this is when other of our darker signs will start to say, oh, that's how it is? Appreciation now on fleek? Okay, I see what it is. And so that same service that you're meant to give out, obviously, for the greater good, okay, for the health and well-being, physically and mentally, to somebody else in a business partnership, to a client, because 7th house, 19 degrees are your clients as well, right? It's the contracts you make with them, but it's also the agreements you have, but it's also just the service you give to your clients. This is when you start saying, oh, okay, well, here's the dark side. You don't appreciate X, Y, and Z. Here's the dark side. I know everything about you. I've been the one responsible for your health. I've been the one responsible for your mental health. And you don't appreciate it? Okay. And this is the part where nothing is said. This is the part where nothing is spoken. So this is the part where, like I said, Cancer and Lilith right now, 2nd degree, you can value becoming the gaslighter. If you were once gaslighted and underappreciated, you can now, with that repressed emotion, keep it private instead of bringing it out and communicating it. And that can turn into a tremendous amount of resentment, spite, and bitterness. And this is the type of energy that actually made me want to really get excited to get out the house early, like 6 a.m., take this walk with the sunrise and talk this message, because this is the part where people become evil. 22222 on screen. That's the psychological transformation. Literally. And this is where you have Leo right now. And one of these signs that I don't remember, it's at the IC. Okay, so this is when you have, and it's at the 8th degree. So this is the 2222 that I just saw on screen. And I knew that jump was gonna come up. This is the finish of the message. As you press subscribe and obviously like this video, this is the end of it. This is the part where you become the drama queen. Literally, this is the part where you either embrace the psychological transformation, which ultimately creates a very fertile ground for you to be your most unique and creative self, okay, as the gracious and charismatic type Leo, or that psychological transformation turns you into the mean girl. It turns you into the queen bee, who says, you know what, y'all didn't appreciate me, I'm just going all bad anyways. I'm just evil. This is when Leo then, instead of transmuting the dark, it gets consumed by the darkness. And then eventually it hides and tucks away that light. And it says, you motherfuckers do not deserve me. You mofos do not appreciate me. And you get very sensitive in these emotions, in these feelings, and in these insecurities. And then they start to rage out and lash out and really burn everybody. So this is the type of energy you definitely want to make sure you finish up and watch out for. Really take inventory of what your rational mind is saying. Mercury is now officially in Gemini. Be very careful with Aries and Venus and Jupiter and Ganja, don't stop at all. Man, that ganja strong. Ain't even nobody outside. I'm in the middle of it. Is it ganja? Mad strong. Dang. That's dang. That's super dang. Oh, it's the paper boy. That's mad funny. The paper boy is fired up at 6 in the morning. He's on fire. Okay. Wow, that junk is. Pass it. It's like that song. Pass the Gavassier. All right, listen. This is what it is. Be very mindful and be very careful. Don't fall victim to these dark narratives. especially when you are underappreciated. More so just take inventory of that, understand logically what you need to do, whether you need to cut, change, shift certain relationships. Again, it's at 6 degrees right now, which is me and coworkers, or yeah, the 6th house, who you work with, or how you take care of your own personal body, which leads to your mental health. And then you finish off and just try not to go to the dark side right now, because this is the beginnings. This is the beginnings where we're still in Taurus season, where you're still strong enough and stable enough to really rock with it. But Gemini season is coming very soon, and that's the wind. So that's you and what we realize about ourselves being a little bit more shifty, not so stable, not so grounded. So that's when things can start now, and you can really descend into darkness. Be mindful. Don't let them, any of them, I don't care who they are, turn your heart black. Do not let that happen. Do not let that happen, because right now Vertex is making a nice aspect with Vertex and Scorpio is making a nice aspect, which is the deepest emotions. It's at 0 degrees too. It's the deepest emotions, the most muddy waters. You have a chance to actually heal some of those repressed feelings that you have, or you can begin to just say, look, you know what, I'm going all bad anyways. That's what you got to be careful for. That was why I was inspired to do this, to just remind you that if you're feeling real sticky in your heart and you want to start using what your gifts are to control people, okay, to literally micromanage people at the workspace, because you already know everything that you need to know, you got every receipt, this can become very dangerous. All right, I'm out of here. I love you. I love you. I love you.